The Gooner Judge.
The Gooner Judge. This is the worst Gooner on the list. I don't care what nobody says, right?
Allegations hit the local Oklahoma media, claiming that Honorable Judge Donald Thompson of Sapulpa, Oklahoma, had covertly been masturbating while sitting at his courtroom bench for over 20 years. Well, he had been a judge for 20 years, but he was
gooning for 20 years? Hello?
Apparently, the judge had been utilizing a penis pump in the courtroom for
that is a freak, bro. Bro is the grandmaster gooner, the ancient gooner, the first of its kind, bro.
A police officer reportedly noticed the pump device peeking out from the stand. Lisa Foster alleged that she had discovered a second backup pump used by the judge. Judge Donald Thompson was a persistent pumper. So unashamed of his activity, it's alleged that the lascivious lawman secretly used one of the toys on himself during the adjudication of a murder case that involved a child. As mentioned before,
yeah, that y'all gotta give him life. The has a backup pump, bro. Double, yo, why call him the double pumper in chat?
Where have you been?
Video by Wavy is called "When Gooning Ruins Your Life." I seen the Goonicide dude on the thumbnail, so I already know what this is gonna do. This is gonna talk about the crazy effects of gooning like that. Let's go ahead and see what happens when gooning goes wrong, though, right? When gooning goes wrong, let's see, though, right?
A gooner is someone who has completely lost themselves to their own horniness. A mindless, hedonistic dopamine fiend that lives only to edge, only to goon. Gooning, as it should, has something of a negative connotation associated with it. After all,
what is that last one, bro? Twitch CEO Dan Clancy accidentally exposes himself. Damn, Dan, you a gooner too, bro?
Associated with it. After all, if every waking hour of your day is spent in a lustful haze searching for the next nut, you're bound to run into trouble. And in fact, many people have gotten into some deep because of their gooning addictions. To a court judge caught with their pants down, bricked up policemen getting busted, and salacious students getting exposed, today we'll be looking at various cases of how gooning can ruin your life. The Gooner Police Officer. If you've ever been to any porn websites, you've encountered the trope of the horny cop. A fictional scenario where a cop pulls over a rather conveniently aroused woman, maybe she offers to—
Let me talk about this though, Brad. All the goon bait on Twitter, right? That's not even cool. Like, there's levels to this gooning, though, bro. And I'm not promoting it. Like, some of these lame who be promoting gooning don't even be promoting like good goons, though, bro. I'm talking about the who be like, I can't believe this happened at Starbucks, and then it's a with her a green cap and she's covering the screen or some shit. I can't believe this happened at Chick-fil-A. I can't believe this happened at Publix and like that, and they're just in the uniform of the restaurant or store they're doing that, bro. And the funny thing is, you'll see it under any post of all time. You don't even have to go looking for it. It'll find you, bro. You could be looking at a post about guy the economy, and right under you will see a OF girl, my who's like, you won't believe what happened at Starbucks. Like, is this the new guy? Girl 12 miles away wants to. Are we dead? Are we dead? Are we serious? Right? Are we serious? Right? How you know what are good goons? Trust me, I know good goons, man. And that's not one of them. That is a Ponzi scheme to lure impressionable people into the lifestyle of gooning, man. And that is bad. I'm not gonna lie to you, gang.
Get out of a ticket. We all know the trope. Now, while I'm sure something like this has happened in the real world, all the people in these videos are adult entertainers, and nobody is actually getting pulled over and is a cop. Well, with the exception of this one instance. I'd like to introduce you to the Gooner cop, Sean Herman. This bricked up law enforcement officer was so terminally titulated that he participated in one of these horny cop style videos. But he was actually a cop and was actually on the clock when he did it.
Told you you're going too fast. Nobody listens to me.
What?
How do you think that you're going to get a ticket?
I'm going to show my.
No, you're not.
Watch me.
This is a real cop?
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Officer Jones, MPD.
In May of 2024, numerous media outlets came forward alleging a Nashville police officer by the name of Sean Herman had appeared in a sexually explicit video online, a video published by an OnlyFans model. Really giving my city a great name, Herman. Now, if Sean was doing all of this in his free time, perhaps it wouldn't have been a problem, but Pee Wee Herman here was around on the job. A report from News Channel 5 Nashville dove into Sean's history and exposed his illicit gooning misadventures. The article details Herman had been featured prominently alongside a large-chested OnlyFans model named Jordan, with the officer reportedly groping her breasts in a sexual manner while dressed in a Nashville PD uniform. And my tax dollars paid for all of it.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Officer Jones, MPD. You know where I pulled you over?
No.
All right, well, I got you going 65 and I'm 45 back there, okay?
What the
You have your
bro?
I actually don't have it in this car, but what if I show you?
He
Yo!
pulls her girls out and he...
What the bro? Like, those are the type of videos you see right under a tweet about like anime, or a tweet about like the economy, or a tweet about anything, bro. There could be a dead tragedy on the timeline. You look under and that's the tweet that you see, bro.
He grabs and rubs on them and she gets out of the ticket, is how the rest of that goes. It's a classic setup.
Oh, the steak ad? You know that joint gonna have a steak or rainbow ad on it.
Having an on-duty cop managed to ascertain where the deputy feature worked after
like,
Sean accidentally showed part of the Nashville Police Department logo when part of his shoulder popped into frame. His squad car was also briefly shown in the video as well. People called Nashville PD and asked them to
a little bit of research never hurt nobody, bro.
To investigate this potential Class A gooning incident.
If you look closely on the top right-hand corner, you'll see the officer's shoulder and just a sliver of what appears to be the Metro Nashville Police patch.
Sean got to stop and frisk an OF model, but with misconduct allegations coming to the surface, the man soon found his body of work facing a hands-on investigation. After being identified as the booba-grabbing policeman, Herman was subsequently investigated and fired, ending his
Bro, you know how hard it is to become a police officer? You do all that academy, all that work, all that training, just to get caught on some gooning, yo, bruh. And now you lost your job to gooning, bruh, and that's your legacy now, gang.
3-year stint as an officer. In response, a police representative named Don
Hey, chat, live by the goon, die by the goon, man. If you live by that, you gonna die by that, man. I'm gonna keep it a stack. That's not safe, and that's why the got fired.
Aaron stated, "That was one of the most outrageous, disrespectful acts that a person here could do. By disrespectful, I mean to all the Metro Nashville Police Department employees and this agency," unquote. Don was probably just mad he didn't get a handful. While most focused on Sean's firing around this time, there were some on...
Be honest though, bro. If y'all are police officers, let's just be honest, right? And that girl was right there. How many of y'all is fumbling, bro? I just want to go ahead and see something, bro. How many of y'all is fumbling, bro? Okay, I already said yes. I didn't even finish the question yet. Me. No. Me, nearly. I don't want to lose the job. Crack under pressure. Yo, can I get a pull up though, bro? Yo, some of y'all lose y'all job so fast, bro.
Curious to know what Jordan, the OnlyFans chick, thought about this situation and how the infamous video came to be in the first place. These questions would be answered when Outkick, a sports-oriented news outlet, decided to interview the woman over direct messages. When asked about how this came to be, she said, "I met the officer a while back in person for a few moments, and one day he saw me on Reddit and reached out about potentially filming a full video."
Reached out. Oh man, bro. Oh man, this reached out already. Bro was in the bro was in the trenches with it though, bro. Now, if you on Reddit, bro, you can find some good shit on Reddit, bro. But just know you in the trenches, man. Like that's trench warfare right there. And not only that, the reached out for a collab. That is one of them in the Reddit comments like that. Nah, that. Sick, bruh.
Yo, at some point,
I never seen
obviously, we've all wondered if flashing cops would get you out of tickets, right? Every guy/girl has joked about it, so I thought it'd be funny/playful. The OnlyFans content creator elaborated that the clip,
and I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of true though, bruh. Listen, if you are on Reddit for corn, that means, bro, you have looked through Twitter, you have looked through Safari, and you was on the anonymous browser too. You have looked through all your options and you have become desperate for one piece of content. That is the only reason you're on Reddit, bro. So this a police officer, and bro weighed all his options. He on Reddit, and he actually shot the shot on Reddit. I've never seen that one before. I'm not gonna lie to you, gang.
It's only filmed as a promotional stunt in an effort to boost
AOL,
her popularity,
what the
with only ever being posted to her Twitter and Reddit accounts. She made it clear that there wasn't a longer cut of it as many assumed, because, you know, there was like a load of people looking for this video. Missed opportunity, I guess. Jordan continued more, saying that she hadn't expected anyone to piece together where Sean worked and felt bad about what had happened. The well-endowed model also said that in light of Sean's firing, she had given the Gooner cop a month's worth of salary as a show of good faith, adding that she thought he would do well in the adult film industry. I'm sure that's the last thing bro wanted to hear at the time. And things only got worse for Sean Herman, as the Nashville Police Department made a statement giving an update on the matter at a later date, confirming that the Gooning incident would in fact be a criminal matter.
Wow.
In the statement, Nashville PD confirmed
that looked like he easy to draw, right? This look like Aang, bro. I'm telling you, live by that, die by that, bro.
In the statement, Nashville PD confirmed that Herman had not just been in uniform at the time of the video's filming, but was actually on duty during the groping. Because of this, he was arrested on felony charges of misconduct, with his bond being set at $3,000. Later in August, News Channel 5 Nashville once again reported on the absurd case and gave final details surrounding the resolution of this whole ordeal. In their article, they revealed Herman had posted bail and managed to avoid serious jail time, though his police certification was suspended. Because of his participation in this brain-dead Gooner stunt, Sean Herman's police career is most likely over.
And you don't get no lifelong butt, bruh. You don't get an indentured buttitude, bruh. That's tough. I'm not gonna lie. So now you lost your job and there's no lifelong butt. Bro got a one-time butt meal ticket, bruh. That's not even good trades, gang. That's not even good trades, bruh.
Extremely damaged. When participating in an OF Models promotional video as an on-duty policeman gets you fired, it's a great example of how gooning can ruin your life. Something else that could just as easily
Okay, we're gonna skip the ad, but wait, we know. Oh, chat, I see. Yeah.
tales showcasing the darker elements of gooning. Next, I'll be telling.
Oh, this is gonna go down in the history books for what he did. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Go to the Google. Yo, that's crazy.
Telling the harrowing tale of the Goonicide.
Who has the video, bro, with Playboy Cardi playing in the back and then like reversed it, bro? That had me dying for months, bro.
Man is caught on camera gooning in public. The online backlash becomes too much to bear. The story of the Goonicide all begins on January 8th, 2025 in the drive-thru of a Bikini Beans location in Tempe, Arizona. For those unfamiliar with the establishment, Bikini Beans is a chain of coffee shops with a gimmick similar to Hooters or Twin Peaks. Think mostly young female staff dressing up and revealing outfits, cleavage showing, cheeks peeking out, you know. They serve coffee wearing bikinis.
Can we get one of these in Nashville?
Now, as you might expect, with an establishment...
I don't even think they have, like, any bikini drinks around here, though, but if they did, would y'all go to one? I'm not gonna lie. I don't even feel like... It's just like with Hooters, I don't feel like it'll be worth it to go to a bikini barista. Are they gonna shake butt for tips and like that? These are the questions that you gotta go ask. Is it even worth it to go, though? Yeah, they're putting question marks, but it's like, what makes it different from just going to a Starbucks, man? They in the bikini, but it's just like, it's not even shaking butt and like that, you know? So it's like, you know...
It's a hot spot for gooners, and some of them try to take advantage of the fact that half-naked women are in abundance and are being paid to serve you. Creeps have been a problem in this industry for years, with many notable cases of Hooters waitresses getting groped and sexually assaulted by handsy clients. But the case here with Bikini Beans is different, as it involves a man actually pulling up to the drive-thru in the middle of what appears to be a full-blown gooning and edging session.
Hi, how are you?
No,
Gooning and edging session.
No, bro.
Hi, how are you?
The was smiling too. Yo.
Good. Have you been here before?
Yeah.
Sir, you need to leave. Unacceptable.
Bro is out of yo. The day this happened, motherfuckers was like Goonicide, ghost of the goon, live by the goon, die by the goon, Lisa and I goon, the little gooner that could, to thy kingdom goon. Like, it was actually so bad. I've never seen somebody get so clown. I'm not gonna lie, it was worse after, like, you know, what happened to bro. It was even worse after that. I'm not gonna lie to you, gang. Why was she filming in the first place? Because I think, like, they said that he was already in the drive-thru and one of the employees seen it, so she already knew what type of time he was home, right?
Yeah. Sir, you need to leave. Unacceptable.
Drive-by goon is still sick, nasty work,
Call
bro.
911.
The Flying Dutchman.
Yo, stop.
Pulling up with his and balls on display,
Yo,
this diabolical drive-through degenerate indecently
Yo.
exposed himself to this woman for sexual gratification.
Bro, every time any type of Gooning related content comes up to this day, you will find this photo, just a screenshot of this photo in the replies.
Indecently exposed himself to this woman for sexual gratification, to satisfy a twisted kink. Whatever the case, she caught him on camera doing so. Realizing this, his smugly cheerful expression is rattled to one of intense fear. Being caught red-handed, he sped off, regret hitting him like a sobering rush of post-nut clarity.
They clowned the cars too. I haven't seen rock no type of Dodge cars in a very long time just off this video. It's so wild, bro, what ended up happening, but it's just like, to this day, it is still being talked about. The fallout from this was crazy.
Regret hitting him like a sobering rush of post-nut clarity. And sadly, this wouldn't be the end of the humiliation for the Bikini Beans gooner. The video filmed by the employee was soon posted online and went viral due to its shocking and baffling premise.
We can't forget
Tweets
how there was
discussing
another
it
person
garnered
who did
tens of
WHT he did.
That was lame as fuck. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Yo, started really going there with their pants off like that. That shit was some lame shit. I'm not gonna hold up, bro.
thousands of likes, and for about a week, this video seemed like all anybody was trying to talk about online. In many ways, the incident brought the word gooning itself to the mainstream, and the man in the video became a symbol for the gooner lifestyle, if it were. You know, just fully embracing one's hedonistic desires and letting those primal urges take over, no matter the consequence. It was a humorous little viral moment, but questions remain. Who actually was this now infamous?
Bro probably changed people's lives for the better and the worse. I guarantee, bro, there was some gooner out there who low-key learned from bro's mistakes and didn't want to fall down the same path as this bro, so just had to tee up a little bit. Like, I promise y'all that
individual, and what happened to him? Well, the answer to that question was more tragic than anybody could have expected. On January 13th, 2025, just 2 days after the Bikini Beans Gooner video was initially posted, a screenshot from a local Facebook group surfaced, claiming that the man featured in the video had actually offed himself after being caught and exposed for gooning in public. And this was no baseless meme or rumor, it was actually true, and police had become involved. As it turns out, the man was a 27-year-old named Nautica Malone, and he surprisingly had a wife and family. A TMZ report
to this day, bro, I wonder how it got to that point, bro. To this day, bro,
gives greater detail.
Started treating his story the same. They do old folk tales.
Tale on the timeline of events. The report claims on January 8th, Malone had pulled up pantsless to the drive-thru at Bikini Beans. An employee suspicious of the nudity told a manager. Staff alleged that Malone had even begun masturbating inside of his vehicle. So it seems like they kind of knew something was up beforehand, which explains the filming. As far as I'm aware, the first instance of the
just talking about this crazy though, bruh. Yo, one thing about that Nautica Malone though, bruh. If he wanted to goon, he'd do it by himself on feet. Something was wrong with him. That's not normal. That's not human, man. One of Satan's greatest soldiers is Nautica Malone. Like, was talking about that like that after the fact though, right? It was one of the craziest weeks in social media history. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Gonna be telling this story around a campfire.
Video itself being posted to the web was on January 10th, and according to reports, on January 11th, Nautica Malone drove to the city of Avondale, Arizona, and took his own life by gunshot to the head. Malone would later be found dead in his vehicle, which was parked in the lot of the Tullison Crossroads shopping plaza. Police body cam footage shows deputies investigating the aftermath.
Sir, please just stay over there.
I know I got a sensor, but we just gotta be careful here.
Keep an eye on him. I'm gonna check for a pulse.
It's really sad what happened to this, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's very, very sad what happened to this. It really don't excuse his actions like that, like at all. But like, there was something wrong with this. There had to be something like genuinely wrong with bro in order to go do something like that.
A cocked back, so it looked like it only had one bullet. Yeah. Okay. Hey man. Cocked back and just leave. Like that in there. They got no pulse.
According to TMZ, Nautica Malone's brother had received a distressing call from him earlier in the day. Additionally, a note authored by Nautica shortly before his death was also discovered. It was to his wife. Quote, "I apologize. I love you, Queen. I made a mistake and don't think I'll be able to face you and the babies. I don't know why I drove through like that. My mental has been f***ed up. I'm not a monster. I apologize and I love you forever. If I am in critical condition, please pull the plug." The news of Nautica Malone's death broke the internet. Many mourned the man's passing, though considering the circumstances leading up to his demise, it should come at no surprise that gallows humor was rampant, with many internet users referring to Nautica Malone's death as a goonicide. And if I'm being honest, while it is extremely tragic and saddening, I can't be too upset at people for joking about what happened here. You know, considering the whole pulling up with your stuff out to a place with half-naked chicks working there. Ben Lyles, the owner of Bikini Beans, certainly
It's crazy, bro. I really wonder to this day how it got that bad. I think if he didn't like game in himself, low key, it wouldn't have been as big of a story as it ended up being. I'm not gonna lie, the internet like thrives on stories like this. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I feel like they amplified it like almost like 20-fold, right? Went down a rabbit hole with this, right?
Wasn't afraid of standing up for his employees, even in the wake of the sad news. He told TMZ this: "This was an unfortunate and tragic situation. In this case, an individual chose to commit a crime at one of our locations.
Off of it?
We take incidents like this very seriously. Remain committed to protecting our team and maintaining a safe and respectful environment." The story of the goonicide does have somewhat of a positive ending, at least as positive of an ending you could hope for in a twisted story like this. Towards the end of January, it was announced that internet users and fans of the originally shared viral video would be holding an impromptu funeral-style remembrance event for Nautica Malone outside of the Bikini Beans coffee shop where this all transpired.
I'm not gonna lie, they was terrorizing them women at the Gooning, bro. They was terrorizing them women. I'm not gonna hold you though, bro. And then they started to pull up with no pants on though, bro. I'm not gonna lie, if this joint wasn't as lit as thought it was, I ain't gonna hold you though, bro. They were over there terrorizing them folks, bro. I couldn't believe when I seen this post, right? That's not
the Gooneral. Like, while some protested against the idea, characterizing Malone as a sexual criminal, it seemed like at this point, after everything that had transpired, most felt Nautica Malone had paid enough penance for the drive-through debauchery that contributed to the ending of his life.
Amen. When I say his name, you say Nautica. Say his name! Nautica!
But you gotta understand, people see this as a positive thing, but y'all gotta understand, nobody here actually cares about that, bro. Like, everybody here is doing it off of a meme. Like, this right here is the same who was butt-ass naked. He went with no pants on to the same drive-thru, and then bro walked in the In-N-Out talking about some, I can't goon, I can't goon, I can't goon. Nobody here actually is doing this out of like any like genuine care, bro. They're just doing it off of memes, bro.
The Gooneral had dozens in attendance, each paying their respects to Mr. Malone, closing the chapter on the goonicide, the ultimate cautionary tale of the dangers of reckless gooning and what it can lead to. The library
this really like shows what it is, bro. That you can like get caught in some awesome gooning, your life could end, and instead of just like kind of holding you and being like, oh, like RIP, this would just make fun of you and just make hashtags about you, my and make memes about you.
Gooners.
Thank you for that.
In the era of OnlyFans, you often see women posting online these provocative publicity stunts to social media, attempting to draw people into subscribing to their pages so you can see more. They'll often dress up in costumes, and they'll have paid promoters in the replies of their posts on Twitter and other sites.
These all have to be bots. Well, not all. All of them are bots, 100%. Not even thinking about all of them. Are bots,
being like, bruh, have you seen the Starbucks girl video?
Gang, this is what I am talking about, bro. This is what I'm talking about, bro. Always be some bullshit like this, though. You won't believe what they did. Oh my God, you won't believe what this girl did at Chick-fil-A. You won't believe what it's like, my. Come on, bro. Let's tee up a little bit, man. And for the who is actually on some Gooning type timing, ain't nothing there for you, man. It's all clickbait bot engagement, man, just to fill up the timeline, bro, and promote these OF girls, man.
Posts on Twitter and other sites being like, bruh, have you seen the Starbucks girl video? Have you seen the Spider-Man girl video? Or, you know, they'll just post stuff like the cop video we discussed earlier. It's obnoxious, but believe it or not, before OnlyFans, this stuff was even more egregious and at times illegal. Which brings us to the case of Library Girl, a woman who gooned in a public library for attention, only to be later put in handcuffs. And not ones for like BDSM.
Yo, chat, don't do that, bro.
SM roleplay. Late January 2015, there was a gooner on the loose. Witnesses were coming forward, claiming that someone had allegedly filmed a sexually explicit video in a college library. News outlet The Oregonian reported that the offending video was recorded at Oregon State University. All of this transpiring during the fall semester. The public scrambled to identify the perpetrator. Upon the discovery of this rogue gooner at large, police got involved. While they likely expected the culprit to have been some homeless crackhead that was using public library Wi-Fi to jerk off, they were surprised to find it was actually a young female student named Kendra Jane Sunderland. According to Oregon State University,
why does it look like Keep Calm and Blink 2015 memes?
Washington native, who had been studying human development and family science at their school. Kendra was also an aspiring adult film star. She recorded herself in an isolated area of
adult film star going to a college library, man. You was all the way cooked, right?
The library, covertly gooning for approximately 30 minutes and was apparently live streaming her performance to a small audience on an internet campsite. The video
30-minute goon in a public library, bruh. Oh yeah, this is sick. I ain't gonna hold.
Features the woman slowly undressing herself while sitting at a library desk, showing her chest and at one point taking off her pants, exposing and touching her cucaracha. Throughout the recording, she constantly looks over her shoulder to see if anyone was coming, but it turns out only she was. The scandalous study session turned sex act concludes with Kendra getting up and walking away from the scene of the goon, as if nothing ever happened.
The fact that nobody caught her just goes to show that do not be at libraries like that, dude, bruh. This ain't see a motherfucking goonette in broad daylight, bruh.
But her live-streamed video left a snail trail of guilt that couldn't be wiped clean. As you and I both know, the internet is forever. The library stream was recorded, shared, and quickly went viral, with the university obviously getting outraged that their prestigious reputation was now affiliated with a potential sex criminal. Kendra would be vigorously probed by police officers after they watched her video. Their investigation led to her
police. How you know about these? Like how he told y'all about that? Though? Did y'all review it? Y'all looked at it full like that? Y'all had to watch it a couple times to analyze if it was the right person. How y'all know about the video?
her eventually being detained. As a result of her library rubdown, Kendra Sunderland was arrested and was facing over $6,000 in fines and jail time for public indecency. Local news outlet KOIN actually went to the now infamous deviant's home to discuss what had happened with her, but were met with a note on the door stating that she was refusing to talk. Unable to enter the Gooner's lair, they then went to interview Steve Clark, an OSU official who strongly condemned Kendra's behavior.
This was public indecency. What you saw in the video, or hopefully your viewers did not see, were acts by an individual that were indecent and conducted in public.
Steve reveals towards the end of the report that the woman was—
I've been doing it in the library for 3 years.
911, what's your emergency?
Banned from campus indefinitely. If she had any hopes of graduating college, this situation certainly didn't help things in that regard. But as you might expect, given the creation of this video in the first place, her head was in a different spot career-wise. Despite many online calling her a whore, slut, all the above, you gotta remember there's always gonna be a subset of gooners out there eager to simp. And Kendra's spicy video made her a hot commodity with these guys. While the woman had refused to make public statements initially, she eventually would come to a realization, that being, oh, I can turn this degenerate controversy into an online sex work career.
God, bro.
Many such cases. Kendra embraced the video and was even seen signing autographs for a fan outside of her first court.
Yo, you're getting OF model autographs? You're getting porn star cam girl autographs gang? I mean, I guess.
Hearing after pleading not guilty to her charges. When questioned, she fully defended her actions.
I think it's normal for a college campus. It's, you know, college kids, they go crazy, they party, they do.
This is what gooning to, bro. This the new goon wave like that. Yeah, y'all is lost. I ain't gonna hold, bro. This is like some shit that was doing in 2012, bro. Are y'all serious? What year is this? What year is this? There's no way is doing this in modern day. What year they say this was, bro?
Fun things and experiment.
I think it's the 2015. Okay, see that makes more sense, man. Like this is that cam girl. Who the f is watching a cam girl in 2025, man?
Me and Later Miss been running dual
really
goons on OG Map for years in public spaces. Don't let him tell you no different.
What the f?
On campus than it is for the people on campus.
Those following the library Gooner girl case would get more reflection from Kendra when she did a full 22-minute long interview with ABC News affiliate KEZI9. She claimed she had no intention of the video going viral when doing the stream, which I honestly believe because outside of Mia Khalifa's hijab thing, this was sort of a first of its kind moment. I think she kind of just stumbled into this.
Yeah, but the thing is, Mia Khalifa still got motion though, bruh. I ain't never heard Kendra it's like nowhere ever. I ain't gonna cap to you.
She does even more corn. IJS looked it up.
Yo, you goon the f out, bro. Like to look it up is insane. I'm not gonna lie.
How have you been since? I mean, for the last couple of months, how have you been feeling?
It changes every day, but at first I was just upset, and, 25, sad, like that, and now it's more.
Kendra Sunderland, man. He was talking about how Mia Khalifa was on back then, yeah, because it was Mia Khalifa, man. Who the f was bumping Kendra Sunderland, bro?
I'm excited for my future and everything that I have coming to me, so it's just a giant mix of emotions that goes up and down all the time, but that's just girls for you.
Was this something that you knew you always wanted to do?
This is something that's always been in the back of my mind that I would dream about, but I pushed it away because I was always told, you know, you're supposed to go to college, get a degree, and get a good job with your degree, but I thought I didn't want to go there. I always wanted to be a model. I always wanted to model for Playboy and Penthouse and stuff like that, and I just never actually thought it would happen because I knew that there's a lot of girls that try so hard to get into it, and it's very hard for them to, you know, find the door and to get them into it.
So what would be the life-ruining punishment issued by the courts as a consequence for the library girl video? In September, Kendra pled guilty to a misdemeanor charge and had to pay a $1,000 fine. Yeah, Kendra's gooning didn't ruin her life at all, right?
Really ruined
It better in just about every way imaginable. An unfortunate exception to the rule.
See, but you see how that's a girl, chat. I guess the moral of the story is that gooning goes good if you are a girl. And if you are a guy, it does not go good. If you are a guy, do not fall into the gooner side. And if you're a girl, then I guess it's okay. This is what this is teaching us apparently, bro.
Publicity surrounding Kendra's videos served as a launching pad for an extremely successful career as an adult star, with Kendra still being popular in the industry to this very day. She has millions.
Kendra not even popular, man. King as library girl. Get the f out of here, bro. What the Get that the f out of here, man.
Followers across various platforms and still refers to herself as library girl almost a decade after the incident. She's pretty much stayed out of trouble since the video debacle, with the exception of a recent arrest related to an alleged marijuana possession charge. Who really gives it? Illegal gooning arguably made this woman a multi-millionaire, but she got lucky as another library gooner wasn't so fortunate. Bro. It all begins.
Shorty is chopped, man. Too, I'm not gonna lie. That goon to anything, bruh. Anything with butt on it, bruh, it's gonna goon to, bruh. Come on.
With mysterious reports
Yo,
of
they dead got corner wards. Yo, they dead got a corner wards too, man. If you dead go to a corn convention unironically or tuned into the corner wards, you're cooked. I'm not gonna lie. It's GG's. It's effectively GG's for you. I'm not gonna lie to you though, bruh. And what categories do they even have at the corner wards though, bruh? Best BBC scene, best Bang Bros exclusive, best cream. It's like, what are the categories? What the fuck are people even doing at this award show, man? Because this is like real life questions. Do like place their ballots in, like with the streamer awards, when the streamer awards come in, can you like vote online and like that? Do you just be voting online for a best male actor and like that. That probably was not a good example to use right there. But I digress. Regardless, I'm just asking the questions, bro.
Another library gooner wasn't so fortunate. It all begins with mysterious reports of a young woman playing with herself live on camera from what appeared to be a public library. CBC News was made aware of this potential Kendra copycat and launched an independent investigation. They alleged the woman went by the screen name Lil Secret and operated on the adult streaming site MyFreeCams. Her location was discovered after CBC cross-referenced images of the library with the footage captured during her live streams. Windsor Public Library was that location.
Okay, again, how do y'all know? Some of y'all like low-key professionally gooned out.
There's actually a moment in one of these recordings where a child can be seen stumbling upon this woman, which is extremely disturbing to say the least. She allegedly hit other libraries in the area
she gotta go,
and even reportedly gooned inside of a Tim Hortons. While her identity was a secret at first, the CBC unmasked her, exposing her as 21-year-old Alexandria Mora. The woman turned herself into police soon after being exposed by the media.
Bro.
While she initially planned to plead not guilty, it seems she eventually gave up her defense and took accountability for her gooning behavior. In June, news outlet Windsor revealed that the woman had been given 12 months of probation and had to pay a $250 fine. This was on top of the fact that
I looked it up. The AV Corn Awards have been going on for every year since 1984 and a lot of fans go there to get autographs. There's also YouTubers breaking IT down and discussing the nominees and winners.
What the
she now had to register as a sex offender. When questioned, her lawyer Patrick Ducarme said she dealt with it, she admitted it, she identified herself to police. She suffered a lot of public embarrassment because it truly did go viral. Yet another example of how unregulated gooning can have serious ramifications. Anthony Weiner, the gooner politician.
Anthony Weiner.
Politicians being weird sex pests is nothing new. You might even be tempted to say that allocating a chapter telling the story of a gooner politician is redundant or passé. Well, my rebuttal, Anthony Weiner. Anthony was a terminally bricked up gooner politician.
Oh, yeah, you could tell this gooned out though, bro. Yo, any website doesn't know it. Try to go goon for goon with this though, bro. Promise you, you won't win though, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Whose surname just so also happened to be his favorite body part. Sadly, the guy with the Weiner name was actually quite the degenerate, and through a series of sexting scandals, illicit gooning, and extremely disturbing activity, Weiner destroyed his career in historically degenerate fashion.
Let me just reiterate to my
Weiner. Bad advertisements, gang. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm not voting for Weiner, bro. He changed his last name, so bro come from a long line of Wieners. I noticed he was getting bullied in high school, bro. Oh, who you voted for? Oh yeah, I voted for Weiner. It's like my yo. Imagine you see a house out and he's like vote for Weiner, a vote for Wieners, a vote for me. Like that don't even sound right, bro.
Wife, how sorry I am that I did these things, and how sorry I am to the people that get these messages for any inconvenience or embarrassment they've caused.
Anthony David Weiner, a Brooklyn native, first entered political office in 1999, elected as Democratic congressman for New York's 9th District. Mr. Weiner erected legislation to support New York's working class and penetrated party lines to pass bills that helped who he described as America's underdogs. As a young politician, he was groomed by Chuck Schumer and went on to spend a great deal of his tenure working to improve public housing, cleaning up New York, and stopping crime. As a matter of fact, Anthony had a team of at-risk teenagers commissioned to remove graffiti around the city that he proudly referred to as Weiner's Cleaners. While all of this—
Weiner's Cleaners. Having Frank last names in New York of all states is actually insane. Weiner's Cleaners. That sounds like a Craigslist wop service, man.
This is admirable. I think what's even more impressive is that Anthony made it this far in life, essentially with the last name Penis. I'd imagine the childhood bullying incurred from having a phallic last name like this would doom a lesser individual. But Weiner grabbed life by the balls and became successful despite his family curse. Though Mr. Weiner was—
Yo, said family curse like this got Sakuna in his—
not without his flaws. See, Tony, had a bit of a gooning problem. On May 27, 2011, as President Obama was in the White House signing an extension to the Patriot Act, Anthony Weiner uploaded a truly bizarre photo to his Twitter. It was a crotch shot of a seemingly bricked up white guy in some boxer briefs.
Oh, yo, get an alt account. Yo, what's good with this, bro?
Reportedly directed to the account of a 21-year-old Washington University student named Jeanette Cordova. The baffling photo was up only very briefly and was quickly deleted, though some people did see it. In the wake of the post, Anthony took to social media, trying to laugh it off, saying that he had been hacked or that someone—
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, if I ever post my butt on social media by accident, I'm using the offset method. Balls in my face, I'm gay, y'all. Yeah, and then I'm gonna say I'm hacked after my— keep this out with you, man. I ain't gonna hold up, man. I'm already familiar with the methods, man. Keep this out with you, man. I'm already familiar with the methods, so I ain't gonna lie, though, man.
One was playing some sort of prank on him.
No, we did do that, but I'm gonna be hacked though, bro. See, now when I really get hacked, y'all not gonna know I'm hacked. See, chat, this is how y'all really gonna know if I'm hacked. If y'all go on my account and I start talking about crypto, I got hacked. Dead ass serious, I'm not gonna lie.
Anonymous man's bulging underwear. The lewd picture, immediately deleted from Weiner's account, was sent to this 21-year-old Seattle college student, but also available to the public to view on Twitter. Outside his New York home Monday— What if I just start getting super political out of nowhere? Like, I hate this group of people. These people are— I voted for John McCain in 2008. Then I'm probably hacked. Weiner, an outspoken liberal Democrat, insisted to CNN it was the work of a hacker.
I was hacked. It happens to people. You move on. This is a prank, not a terribly creative one, and it's a distraction. Look, you know, you've got the Republicans who are playing games with the debt limit. You've got a Supreme Court justice who is refusing to recuse himself despite conflicts of interest. You have a healthcare act that is under siege. You know, this is a distraction.
But we all know what happened. Anthony got sloppy in the middle of a gooning session and accidentally shared an image of his cock and balls that he meant to send to one of his kittens privately. While this photo wasn't all too crazy, it was only the
fear. Yo, if my butt ever gets leaked, y'all better mind y'all business. I'm not gonna hold you though, bro. It's gonna be screenshot of my butt. It's gonna be on the internet. I'm gonna be like, yeah, this is paid. You talking about, man?
Tip of the iceberg. Journalists began digging into Anthony's activity, not buying his prank excuse. And what they would find was—
it implies you're taking a picture of your butt. I'm not taking pictures of my butt, but if my butt is out there, they know my butt is paid, man. Mind your business, man. Because why are you looking at my butt? Why you sharing your butt? I'm not sharing my butt. But if my butt is out there, then why y'all screenshot my butt? This is just the question that we gotta go ask. Why you taking butt pics? Why are you looking at my butt pics? You see how this don't correlate, man? Like you can't have both of them, man. You can't have both of them because you're gay, but you looking at the photos though. So I'm like, you know, it's like the homeless calling another homeless, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying though, bruh. Who taking the pixie? That's not important right now, man. Let's get down to the fundamentals of it though, bruh. This is crazy conversation, by the way. If my butt is out there on Twitter and you click and you screenshot my butt, you like men. You like kissing. You like boys kissing. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's just the end of the story though, man. Why would I do that? I'm just saying though. I just say it though, man. Cause how y'all really gonna know it's my butt? That's the real question. How y'all really gonna know it's my butt though?
Anthony, a married man, was gooning and sexting chats with multiple young college-age mistresses, sharing scandalous photo after photo after photo. Some of which are way too spicy for YouTube. In the wake of these leaked photos,
bro, my hair hurt. Yo, thank God for the censor. But yo, come on, is he serious, bro?
Photos, many of which included his face in them, Anthony finally came clean, admitting he had been engaging in sexting chats with what has been described as half a dozen women.
In addition, over the past few years, I have engaged in several inappropriate conversations conducted over Twitter, Facebook, email, and occasionally on the phone with women I have met online. I've exchanged messages and photos of an explicit nature with about 6 women over the last 3 years. For the most part, these communications took place before my marriage.
Holy hairline.
Some have
that is worse than Vegeta though, bro. That got a nice sauceless M on his.
Sadly took place after. To be clear, I have never met any of these women or had physical relationships at any time. I haven't told the truth. Crazy. And I've done things I deeply regret.
With the smoking gun out there and mounting pressure from Democratic colleagues, Mr. Weiner resigned from his position in Congress in what had become one of the most humiliating political scandals of the 21st century.
I'm here today to again apologize for the personal mistakes I have made and the embarrassment I have caused. I make this apology to my neighbors and my constituents, but I make it particularly to my wife, Huma.
Has a whole wife.
I had hoped to be able to continue the work that the citizens of my district elected me to do. And most importantly, that my wife and I can continue to heal from the damage I have caused.
I mean, Tony, you're the Weiner guy. You can't get busted for something like this, man. Extortion, blackmail, take a bribe for Christ's sake, but sex stuff, your name is Weiner. You just can't do it, bro.
Low key, if they ever make time travel, God forbid, because they won't f it up. But if they ever make time travel, needs to go back and just yell, I can't goon! I can't goon! And just need to yell that in the motherfucking crowd just to change history, right?
Was cooked from the start.
Unfortunately, the distraction that I have created has made that impossible. So today I am announcing my resignation from Congress.
Yeah! Bye-bye, pervert!
Anthony's resignation...
Hey, yo, there was nobody was sad. Not a... Yo, not a single soul was sad about this resigning, bro. Family Guy, I'm not gonna lie, that was some American Dad cartoon type scenes about what? That didn't even see, yo, that's how, why that sound edited?
So today I am announcing my resignation from Congress.
Yeah! Bye-bye, pervert!
Anthony's resignation is likely where you would expect this story to end. But this Weiner was simply built different. When the fallout settled from the sexting scandal, Anthony actually tried to run for office again, this time setting his sights on becoming the mayor of New York City in the 2013 race. Now, surprisingly, at first, this wasn't a complete disaster. Tony promised that he was a changed man. Aside from the scandal, Anthony was actually well liked when he was a representative. And since some time had passed since that scandal, many in the public seemed to forgive Anthony by this point.
I'm glad these things are behind us. I know that
his wife been stretching. I ain't gonna lie though, bro. She a strong woman to be with this, bro. He's gonna do it again. It's just a matter of time.
A very public thing that we had happen to us, but by no means does it change the fundamentals of my feelings here, and that is that I want to bring my vision to the people of the city of New York. I hope they're willing to still continue to give me a second chance.
Weiner made numerous public apologies, and his wife, who remarkably stayed with him throughout all of this, spoke highly of her husband. And it seemed like whatever demons Anthony had were now exorcised, and he was prepared to get back to business and take New York to new heights.
Our marriage, like many others, has had its ups and its downs.
Most of the Gooners got wives, bro.
It took a lot of work and a whole lot of therapy to get to a place where I could forgive Anthony.
Unfortunately for Anthony, though, his past would come back to haunt him. When news of Anthony running for mayor became widely known, old ops started coming out of the woodwork with new unseen leaked photos, alleging that Anthony had actually been continuing his sexting and gooning with women that weren't his wife. Doing so after he had been exposed last time.
Are you serious? Anthony, you should have just pivoted to become like a porn star, bro. You could have been up there with Johnny Sins, bro. Chad, sometimes in life you gotta know when to pivot, bro. You getting exposed for this, you should have made the most of that, especially if you're gonna do that again.
2011, so like he was still at it. In June, an online gossip website called The Dirty released evidence suggesting Anthony had been recklessly sexting more women in 2012, sharing a never-before-seen image of a fully torqued up pecker that Anthony would eventually admit was in fact his.
Standing by her husband's side, wife Huma Abedin broke her silence, speaking out for the first time.
Anthony's made some horrible mistakes, both before he resigned from Congress and after. But I do very strongly believe that is between us.
Despite the new leaks, Tony's wife continued to support him, but the public had seen enough. Weiner's mayoral campaign flopped after—
How your name Weiner, bro? You not really weaning like that, man. You really gotta be on that type of timing, bro. You can't have no Ween last name. That's like Jason the Ween, bro, pulling up with 1 inch, bro. Come on, man. You can't have Ween in your name though and not be really packing though. That's just realistic though.
These new allegations and images came to light, and he ultimately conceded the race to the opposition.
And I am waging this campaign on a bet. And the bet is, at the end of the day, citizens care more about their own future than about my past with my wife and my embarrassing things.
It said someone find the leaks was he packing.
Well, so far that bet isn't paying off.
You begin to see that this guy genuinely has a gooning problem. And it's at this part of the story that things actually start to get pretty dark and extremely perverse. Several years later, in 2016, Anthony Weiner would be back once again in the media, facing a third round of embarrassing sexual misconduct allegations. This time, though, a potential criminal element was at play. Weiner had been caught sexting once again. Leaks began dropping left and right, most of which included various post-workout thirst traps, though this round had far more explicit leaks than any before. And the most egregious of these photos? Weiner had sent a picture of himself in his underwear with his infant son swaddled up napping next to him in the picture. While neither were nude or anything, it was still extremely creepy, inappropriate, and weird. This disturbing photo unsurprisingly had many calling for Weiner to be criminally investigated. Was there a child abuse element at play here? What was going on? The discovery of this image and continued sexting with other women proved too much for Anthony's ever-loyal wife to bear this time around, and she filed for divorce shortly after the allegations came up. But it only gets worse. In 2017,
her wife stronger than I would have been. I ain't gonna hold you though, bro. I can't be in a relationship with who's cheating and gooning that heavy, bro. You just gotta leave, bro.
It was also discovered that Anthony had been sexting with a 15-year-old girl.
There it is. Just a matter of time. Yo, this really like gooned out, bro. Usually, like, was deep in the motherfucking goon space. Learn after they first lesson, bro. Like after something traumatic happens to them and it almost ruins their life, they lock in. This could not lock in. This is bound to goon. Bound to falling in goon. Like this is a lifelong gooner. He cannot stop, bro. This is condemned to goon, bro. It's unfortunate.
Also discovered that Anthony had been sexting with a 15-year-old girl. This proved to be the final straw, and Weiner was eventually arrested and convicted for transference of obscene material to a minor. Weiner was sentenced to serve 21 months in prison for this. Wow. He was released in 2019 after serving 18 of those months. Anthony's gooning and perverse sex—
I'm not gonna lie, bro. After the first incident, if he just pivoted to corn star, I guarantee his life would have been a lot better. But bro want to go ahead and be a mayor and still do the freaky do worse than he was doing the first time. This is what we like to call a lost cause. There are some people out there that you cannot help. You let them go. They are a lost cause, gang.
Habits ultimately ruined his life in a way that few politicians can lay claim to. His story started as a somewhat innocuous and humorous one about a guy named Weiner getting in trouble for being horny. But the truth of the matter was actually much darker and disturbing. After finishing his stint in prison, shockingly, in December 2024, Weiner actually floated the idea of filing to become part of New York City Council. Though this doesn't—
Dude, stop, bro. Stop, bro.
Seem to have gone anywhere, thankfully. Anthony Weiner is a prime example of how sex addiction and gooning can ruin your life.
Stop, bro.
The Gooner Judge.
The Gooner Judge. This is the worst gooner on the list. I don't care what nobody says, bro. That's worse than Nautica Malone, bro. I ain't gonna hold though, bro.
Now this just might be the most absurd case from today in terms of being brazen. This is the story of the Gooner Judge, an individual who worked in one of society's most esteemed positions, only to be caught using toys and jerking off during court cases. In September of 2005, allegations hit the local Oklahoma media, claiming that Honorable Judge Donald Thompson of Sapulpa, Oklahoma, had covertly been masturbating while sitting at his courtroom bench for over 20 years. Well, he had been a judge for 20 years, but he was
gooning for 20 years? Hello? Goonicide numbers, what the boy?
Well, he'd been a judge for 20 years, but he was at least doing this for like 4 or 5 years. In 2004, the judge retired, and that's when old courtroom employees and colleagues felt safe enough to spill the beans on Sepulpa's best-kept secret. Apparently, the judge had been utilizing a penis pump in the courtroom for
that is a freak, bro. Bro is the Grandmaster Gooner, the ancient Gooner, the first of its kind, bro. Bro is the motherfucking little Gooner that could, man.
Years, beginning this advanced level gooning sometime around 2001. At first, nobody noticed. However, as time went on, the guy became less cautious and started pushing his luck further and further, and more would become aware of the disturbing activity. In 2003, a police officer reportedly noticed the pump device peeking out from the stand and took a picture of it when Thompson wasn't around. A former court reporter of his named Lisa Foster alleged that she had discovered a second backup pump used by the judge. Judge Donald Thompson was a persistent pumper. So unashamed of his activity, it's alleged that the lascivious lawman secretly used one of the toys on himself during the adjudication of a murder case that involved a child. As mentioned before,
yeah, that y'all gotta give him life. The has a backup pump, bro. Double, why call him a double pumper in chat? Call that double pumper, bro. Ain't no way. That's some sick, nasty work, bro.
The man retired in 2004, likely thinking he'd get to pump away in peace.
This is what I was gonna say. That's a backup pump, bro. Insane. I'm not gonna hate on who motherfuckers they sex toys. Women be doing it all the time and don't be getting a lot of flack, but men do. But what I will say, if you have a backup of a sex toy, I'm not gonna lie, your life is good. Your life is like effectively over. I'm not gonna hold you. If you have a backup of the same exact sex toy and you're a judge,
Satan's freakiest soldier.
The rest of his days. But when witnesses of his conduct, notably court reporter Lisa Foster, came forward, the state charged him with some serious crimes. Judge Thompson found himself facing felony charges and serious jail time for indecent exposure. On top of the crimes, an additional allegation was levied at the judge. A witness named Angela McClanahan admitted under oath that she had a sexual affair with the man despite his status as a married individual. She was brought in after the prosecution discovered photos of an unknown penis on Thompson's work computer, which they alleged she had taken. So not only was he a gooner, but an adulterous one at that. At one point in the trial, prosecutors actually...
This is such an insane video, bro. I never thought we would be watching like this. Is such a insane video.
Suggested that Lisa Foster should look at the pic found on the work computer to confirm if it was the, quote, one that she saw in the courtroom, unquote. And in response to this suggestion, Judge Thompson's defense attorney said this: if she saw a penis, it was his. There doesn't need to be a penis identity or penis lineup.
So just know the penis by, like, do a guess the penis, and just know the shaft by the motherfucking guy ambiance, bro.
I'm unsure if they actually ever made Lisa Foster play Match the Glizzy in court or not. That's pretty insane if they did, though. Things only got worse for Judge Thompson in trial. Another court reporter and former colleague of the judge, Jan Doolin, said that she had once stumbled across what appeared to be a
stream activity idea. I'm not doing guess the cock on stream, bro.
Consisting of lotion and Viagra when she was cleaning out the man's office. Apparently, this guy's whole modus operandi was gooning, and he had advanced strategies and care packages at the...
This is a Fire Emblem level gooner, bro. He's a tactician, a gooning tactician, bro. This was the master of all goons. Bro knew it all, bro. Bro has been doing this for 2 decades now, bro. Like he's a different caliber, bro. Like if he wanted to goon, he'll do it by himself, no matter where he is, bro. And he'll get away with it too, bro.
And he had advanced strategies and care packages at the ready to take care of business when he needed to.
Care packages?
In light of all of these crazy accusations, the case started getting national news attention.
While he sat on the bench, he apparently felt it necessary to use his penis pump.
You know, he wasn't just doing these things in traffic court. There's a couple of murder trials he was on.
If someone's life is in the balance, you're looking at life in prison, and this guy is playing around with a penis pump?
Judge Thompson,
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. This might be the craziest gooner of all history. No funny, bro. Bro was beating his murder charges. I don't think there's not a soul out there on social media. Well, maybe not Twitter, but in 4chan. and Reddit and probably some places on Tumblr. But I don't think there's a soul in life who was beating they to murder charges. And there's definitely not a soul in life who was beating they to murder charges in real time, bro.
Used his device during 3 separate trials between 2000 and 2003.
And when I stepped into the courtroom, the judge had that pump in his lap, and I saw his penis.
One massive piece of evidence used to nail the judge down for his activity is actually quite disturbing. Court reporter Lisa Foster claimed that the disgraced judge had been using the pump during a trial in which a man had been accused of killing a small child. Well, this case was actually recorded by her personally, and when played back, the sound of the pump device can be heard on an audio recording.
They didn't even have a discreet joint. Bro had a loud penis pump
She captured. It's just whirring away in the middle of the trial.
How did nobody know?
This testimony and audio evidence would be the smoking gun prosecutors needed to win the case. Ultimately, Judge Thompson was convicted and sentenced to 4 years in prison for his heinous gooning crimes, in addition to having to pay $40,000 in fines. Even after leaving prison, the man's life would continue to go downhill. The Oklahoma news outlet News 6 reported in 2011 that he had been arrested 3 times since his release from prison. Angela McClanahan, the woman who had been brought in as a witness during the 2005 trial, was now pressing charges against the guy for stalking. Apparently, the man had gotten himself beaten up by her new boyfriend after he was caught staring through her bathroom window.
Live by the goon, die by the goon. That's not even a meme. That's dead serious, bro.
This guy is a gooner for life, I guess. He was again arrested for staring at McClanahan.
Bro went from the judge to the crackhead goon round.
And a hand through a pair of binoculars, but posted bail.
This a sick. Yo, bro using motherfucking guy old TV show tactics. Bro was trying to look through a pair of binoculars. Some people got to be gone, bro, for to get better, and he one of them, bro.
And a final insult to injury, the Oklahoma Supreme Court ruled that Judge Thompson would not receive any retirement benefits. I think it's safe to say that gooning ruined this guy's life.
Today, the High Court said Thompson violated his oath of office. He would have been entitled to more than $7,000 a month in retirement payment.
Well, my friends, I hope this...
Gang, that was a crazy video, yo. We learned about the legendary gooners of yesterday, bro. Okay, hold on. Who's the worst gooner on this list? I'm gonna go ahead and just take this out. Nautica Malone is not the worst gooner on this list, though, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Not even close. Either the politician or the judge. I'm not gonna lie. The judge is sick, bro. The mayor is too. Like, they like right here. It's like Gojo and Sakuna. I'm not gonna hold you, though, bro. Weak gooners, you ain't never beat your in the court, bro. To a murder trial. You ain't never did that, bro. You ain't putting up this numbers. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You're not like that. Goon scaling. It's either the judge or the mayor. That's some sick shit, though, bro. Judge had an entire arsenal, bro. Judge was trying to do a coup against the United States and have an army of gooners, bro. If they didn't stop that when they did, bro, in 2025, bro, that would have motherfucking raised the rebellion against the United States, though, bro. It would have been the motherfucking United States versus the motherfucking goddamn gooners, bro. It would have been G's, bro. He had to stop that early, bro. Judge missed out on $84K a year to be a gooner. This isn't a debate. Judge had Inspector Gadget type tools. No, the judge's the worst one. Bro had a backup. The thing is about the mayor and the judge. The mayor was gooning from afar. The judge was actively gooning in the line of.
So the takeaway from this video is that gooning addiction is very serious. Get help if you need it, chat.
Bro, chat, don't let it get to that point, bro. Gooning is ruining lives, bro. Dead ruining lives, bro. I ain't never seen nobody that gooned out like that last dude, bro. I've never watched no like that in my life. We're gonna put those on the main channel, bro. The gooner side has got out of hand. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's been getting out of hand. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about that video and like that. You're all just on the main channel. Twitch Blue Rye in the description. Come to the stream and y'all let me know how y'all feel about that video. That was a really good wavy video. I'm not gonna hold up, bro. But yeah, IBBG. Alright.